Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Geoff, Fluent American, welcoming you back to the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday at this time we help you craft your accent, study American English pronunciation to help you sound a little bit more natural. Let's start off with just a real short one. So we got 2 seconds.
I live in the U.S.
Okay, short and sweet.
I live in the U.S.
Okay, I'm guessing it says I live in the US. Okay, which looks like it would be this one. So again, just check that sound, and again we're on this. No, not that one. That was 2 seconds.
I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S.
Okay. Oh, thanks also to the purple scarf saying the kind words, saying I'm doing an amazing job. I hope so. I'm trying. I appreciate it. Did you send us an audio? I would love to hear it. But some suggestions again for this file here.
I live in the U.S.
Emmanuel says that he thinks he's hearing all in the U.S.
I live in the U.S.
I think I'm hearing I live like I live I live in. So I think what's happening is that we're getting super reduced, which already so we're seeing some people potentially getting confused. So how can we avoid this confusion to make sure people understand what we're saying? How can we add just a little bit more clarity to this? It sounds very reduced to me, which is great. I love reductions. I think it's something that a lot of people when they're learning English, something that they are missing, but they can be a little bit tricky because if everything's too reduced, our whole sentence becomes mush, and we don't necessarily want that to happen. So here,
I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S.
okay, the part that I think is coming through clearest is the in the U.S. So that's great. That's a really great sign because the in the U.S. part, I like that movement in the U.S. in the U.S. in the U.S. So you got the in the you hear those like 3 steps down, which is what you want. That's a great progression, and down in the U, and then we're going up on the S because S is your stress. Rick asks us, "Aren't you recognizing my voice?" I thought it was you. I wasn't entirely sure, but I was like, "It sounds like Rick." Rick is a member of our Mission English program, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which you can also be a part of too if you're trying to get feedback like this every single day of the week in classes. But we'll talk more about that soon. So I like that in the U.S. part. I think that sounds great, which means that the I live part, I think we can strengthen.
I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S.
I live. So I think what's happening here is I think it's the short I sound on live.
I live in the U.S.
I live, I live, I live,
I live in the U.S.
I live, I live, I live. It's a small difference. I think we need a little bit more short I. Short I sound is going to be more again, like in sick or his. And I think if we were just maybe it's a more it sounds to me like maybe the familiar tongue might be a little too low. So maybe kind of lowering that. I mean raising that. Excuse me. So again, more Something else that can help too is making sure the sides of your tongue are touching your top teeth. Okay, that can also kind of just help lift things slightly. It's like I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S. I live. Um, I think potentially also having a slightly higher pitch on live would also add some contrast to make this easier to understand as well. So like I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S.
I live in the U.S.
Can you hear the difference there? It's like I live in the U.S.
I live in the U.S.
Because otherwise you're saying, oh, I live in the versus I live in this. So I think the key to getting this to just have an extra layer of clarity is just making sure that short I sound is a little bit more short I E. Because I think it's almost turning into like schwa E slightly. Okay. But besides that, again, the second half of this I think sounds great. I would just make that little tweak to that vowel, and I think that will have a pretty large impact in terms of getting this comprehensible for more people. And if you have any questions about that, be sure to let me know. But I think that kind of gets us on our first file. One down. And Rick does ask the question. Is it the or is it the? That's such a great question. Some people are like, they're like, oh, it depends on the vowel that follows the. In some situations you'll say the, in some situations you'll say the. I think that, in general, if you say you're adding a little bit of weight to that article and adding some stress, and that can make things sound a little choppy, right? If you say I live in the US, I live in the US, you kind of it does make your sentence flow a little bit less nicely, I would say. So in general, I think that the wants to be reduced unless it's something you want to add some extra emphasis to. So like I would keep it as it's like the US, and notice how that's going to link with you. It's like the you. So it's almost like you're adding a very slight Y sound between that E and the U. The you. So it's not the you, it's the you, the US. Next file again, I had a short one. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here.
If the wind will not serve, take to the oars.
That's actually man, I actually have this. I'm gonna give me 1 minute. I want to grab something really quick. As I'm grabbing this, I want to leave you just with a quick trailer. So, one program that some people that you are seeing in the chat that they are members of is a group called Mission English. Mission English is basically a program where we meet for a live stream. Basically on Facebook, we have a private Facebook group. We meet Monday through Friday, twice a day. In fact, I can show you our schedule really quick. And so this is all of our schedule now. So if you join Mission English, you can take part in every single one of these live streams. These are based on New York Times. And so again, you join Mission English, you pay one price for the month, and you can join all of these live streams. That means up to 40. Can't guarantee 40 every month, but you're at least 30. But up to 40 lessons per month for one price. It doesn't get much better than that. I kind of want. Okay, sorry about that. I had to like navigate my camera and the lights. I knocked something over. It was a thing. But yeah, so this is like when I was a language center director. This is something I made. So basically, if you can read my horrible writing, it says, "When there is no wind, row," which is an old Latin quote. So Marcos, if you're here, I like your choice of quotes. I appreciate that. That's all I wanted to say. It was a lot of effort just to do that. I'm sorry. But if you guys do have questions about Mission English or things like that, we have several people who are members, and I'm sure they would love to tell you about their experience. We do have a question from Orange. Orange. We'll bounce back to the pronunciation file. I have a question about this thing. That's the thing. I tried to say that week, but it was hard to reduce it. I completely skip it. Or to clearly say it. Can you do thing is that I think making smoothly. Okay, a question about that's the thing. Like saying like that's the thing that like trying to say that phrase. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, that's the thing that um I think if you're having a hard time saying that phrase, that's the thing that some things that may help. Again, assume I'm understanding the question right. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like that's the something that may help is keeping the tip of your tongue down against your bottom front tooth when you say that. It's like that's the so like I'm just pressing the tip of my tongue there because if you're saying that's the like if your front of your tongue is flapping around too much, that can make things a little tricky for the consonants there. Um, and I think it's also in terms of that phrase, like that's the thing, knowing which word you're trying to stress because the different stresses will have different meanings. Like you say, like that's the thing. That has a slightly different meaning than like that's the thing. Paying attention to stress, identifying which one you want to emphasize more. So if you want to stress that's like that's the thing. That's the thing. And again, it's key also doing like steps down in terms of your pitch. And if it's that's the thing, then you're just doing two steps down followed by that uh going up in pitch. It's like that's the thing. That's the thing. Okay. The other last thing I would recommend is just make sure that the vowel sounds are the emphasis. It's like eh. Those are your vowel sounds, right? It's like It's like that's the thing. That's the thing. Or like ah uh that's the thing. That's the thing. So I think breaking it into vowel sounds and then adding the consonants back in can also be a helpful tool for trying to get things to say. Ta-da. Also a question here.
Question.
Are there themes for Mission English each time? Like one day's lower pitch? I'll be honest, I don't go into the classes with a lesson plan or an agenda unless people have nothing that they have questions about. Um, in general, people come to class and they're like, "Hey, I want to study this. Hey, I want to study this," and I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." You know. So for instance, we've looked at stress. We've done shadowing videos. Sometimes we're working on vowel sounds. Sometimes we're working on suffixes. Like we've worked on like the bull sound, like unbelievable, comfortable, things like that. Um, we've analyzed other English teachers, like non-native English teachers, kind of looking at how they're pronouncing things. We looked at movie trailers and like shouted them, talk about the reductions that occur. There's so many things that we can do. Yeah, so there's a lot of different options. Geoff, do you teach standard American accent, quote unquote? Again, it's hard because we get this idea that like it's quote unquote standard exists. Everyone has their own variation. I would say my speech is largely standard. There's some regional things just from growing up where I grew up, but in general, the way that I talk is the way you're going to hear across the U.S. in general. Okay. But again, the idea of a standard is kind of a tricky concept. So really, guys, hey Jeff, I feel I have a problem when I pronounce millionaire. Okay. That's actually a pretty common thing. We have a video that also talks about numbers that you might find helpful. So as I'm talking about this, I'm going to show you where the video is. Our British English is in Ireland. That's okay. um, so what I would say is that for millionaire, if you go to our videos, we have a video again talking about numbers, but your first syllable is going to be a short I sound with a dark L, so it's going to sound like ill, ill. So that's the very first thing we need to kind of practice because that tends to be a tricky combination going from that I to a dark L. So like ill, 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 where the back of your tongue is high and the front of your tongue is down. Ill, ill. You're saying like ill, 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 ill. Those are not the things that we're going for. We're trying to keep the placement low with lots of breath moving through. Once you feel like you have that comfortably, what you can do is you can then move on to like alien. So that's the next goal. So it's another short I sound, this time linking a short I sound to an N. So it's like N, 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 N. Okay. So make sure you're not saying in. It's not million, it's million, million. And then you're finishing with air. So for instance, that thing that's like floating all around us, air, air, air. Okay. Millionaire. The other thing to consider with that too is that for millionaire, the stress is on the first syllable, mill. So then the other two syllables you can make short, fast, and you don't want them to be very strong. Like millionaire, 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 millionaire. Okay, and that goes true for like billionaire or trillionaire and things like that as well. Unfortunately, I'm having some trouble finding the number video. Come on, search. Let me try one more. Okay, here it is. Cool. So I went to the search over here. Zoom in so you can see that. So I went over here. I typed in number. This is the number we talk about saying things like millionaire and things like that in more detail there. Okay. Whew. Going back to a long time ago, we were looking at a pronunciation file for Marcos. We got heavy distracted. So now we're going to go back to that. Okay. A purple scarf. Look at this, man. Talk about some dedication. 12:20 in the morning. Still acting listening to our teacher. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I hope you're getting some value. Let me know, guys, if you are learning things, say yes. If you're not learning something, say no. But let me know in the chat how you're feeling. Let's take a listen to this file once more. I need to share my screen and my audio. Be just a second delay. Marcos, thanks for your patience. If you're watching this, you've been very, very patient. All because I just wanted to find this stupid little flat. Manuel says they're getting value. I appreciate you, man. You know that.
If the wind will not serve, take to the oars.
So strong. I think you read this really, really, really well. Okay. Let me see. It's like it sounds very dramatic.
If the wind will not serve,
if the wind, like, it's just so, like, deep and power, like, if the wind will not serve. Imagine it's like a quote from, like, a movie or something. Very dramatic.
If the wind will not serve.
The wind will not serve. The wind will not serve. Wind will not serve. Something there sounds slightly different than what I would expect.
Wind will not serve.
If the wind will not serve. The wind will not serve.
If the wind will not serve,
The wind will not serve.
take to the oars.
Yeah, I can't identify the specific thing about the first half. That to me just sounds a little different than I was expecting.
If the wind will not serve.
If the wind will not serve. I think it's that you have opportunities in different places to potentially use higher pitches. Like on serve, like if the wind will not serve, something like that. Or you could do a wind, like if the wind will not serve, like something like that. So I would just kind of play around them. That's not to say the way you're doing it is wrong. I think the way you're doing it works. Just kind of talk about
Take to the
alternatives.
oars.
Okay. The bigger thing is going to be at the end. Shok, let me know that they're getting some value. Thank you, Miss. I appreciate that as always. I think the big thing here is that R sound in oars. See if you can listen to that.
Take to the oars.
Did oars versus oars. Take to the oars. Take to the oars. So I think that the R sound to me sounds a little bit closed off in the throat. We're kind of blocking some air. It also sounds to me like the placement's a little high, like oars versus oars. What I often tell people about this R sound, it can be a tricky one, is that when you're making this R in American English pronunciation, the way it's often taught is that it's a very firm, strong sound, like but the reality is that it's actually in American English a relatively light sound. There's a lot of air coming through, so it's not it's more It's something for my Mission English people here. That's something that we talked about in yesterday's stream in the afternoon. In case you missed it, so you can watch that in the Mission English group. But with Emmanuel. I think that it's really important again with these R sounds to, instead of emphasizing the R, you want to emphasize the vowel around the R. So for instance, in a word like oars, getting that O sound to be a little bit more dominant and that R sound to be a little bit weaker. So it's not oars, it's more oars, like or. I'll just kind of practice shifting between one to the other to try to get that O sound to take up more space and the R sound to take up less space. That's my big goal for you with that. Clear that again.
If the wind will not serve, take to the oars.
If the wind will not serve, take to the oars. Another thing you could do is, again, play around pitches more. If the wind will not serve, take to the oars. Like you could take that whole take to the part, even lower the pitch even more. Take to the oars. Let's see what we got here.
Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
Well, this voice sounds a little familiar.
Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
This is a copy of me. Is this why Mr. Anderson? That's okay. We can analyze it. That's fine.
Some of them, if enough people are saying it. Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
So I think this is me. So basically saying this. Some of them, if enough people saying it. Touche. Play the audio again.
Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
One thing I want to highlight here. So you guys, assuming I believe this is me. I could be wrong, but I think it's me.
Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
One thing I want to kind of direct you to is pitches. So you guys are hearing me talk right now. So the way I'm talking right now, this is like my normal pitch range. This is how I'm talking if I'm just in a neutral situation and things like that. My mom's here. She can attest to that. She'll probably say, no, Geoff, you mumble more or you talk quieter. But in general, this is how I talk. But if you listen to this,
some of them, if enough people are saying it,
you're going to notice that the pitches start going really high. So I think this kind of highlights that, if your goal is to speak, natural American English pronunciation, then I think at some point we really do need to consider the pitches that we're using and increasing the range, because one thing that you're going to hear with this, again, trying to timestamps, Jeff, timestamps. One of the things is that in general, people are not using as wide a variety of pitches as they could. So again, this is my normal range, but when I'm saying this,
Some of them, if enough people are saying it.
like if enough people are saying it, if enough people are saying it, I don't remember the exact context and things like that. That would be much more helpful. But notice again how high that is and things like that. So what I would say is that
People are saying it.
how often are you using higher pitches in your own speech? One way to check yourself is do a quick scale, do like an E sound and like go down a couple times, like E, 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 E. Take that back up. E, 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 E. Take that up 5 times. E, 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 E. Can you take that 5 more times? E, 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 E. So like, and how often are you using this full range? Because in general, in American English, you need to use more pitches than just like E, E, or like E, E. Like you need to, instead of using like 3 or 4 pitches, trying to expand that 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pitches, if you can. And that's another way you can immediately start sounding more natural. Okay. It's just a note on that. Rick asks, do I recognize my own voice? It depends what mood I'm in, I guess. Also depends on like quality of the microphone, internet issues, things like that. Plus, like, if you're not expecting to hear your own voice and then someone plays it to you without like a visual, it's kind of like, wait, it's a little jarring. Not sure how often that happens to you guys. How often do people play audio of yourself to you without any context? What's this? This file's a second long. Okay. And then my mom is talking about some Shakespeare things. Okay. Thank you to my mom.
Why do you have like so many fruit?
Some very interesting files that we're getting through.
Why do you have like so many fruit?
So some things going on here.
Why do you have like so many fruit? Why do you have like so many fruit?
Okay, I would say some of the features of this kind of sound like an accent that's known as like a kind of like a Valley Girl accent. One of the features of a Valley Girl accent is people saying they're proud of me. Elchin's proud of me. Thank you, man. Man, I was proud of me too, guys. I told myself I wouldn't cry today. I was like, today, not today, Jeff. Not today. No, we're not gonna cry today. We're not doing it. Not today. So
Why do you have like so many fruit?
one of the features again of a Valley Girl, quote unquote accent, is up talking, where basically you overuse the rising intonation. This is a information question. So usually when you have questions starting with why or how or who, you would expect the last intonation at the end to be falling. But instead we're rising here. You can hear like fruit. She's not saying fruit. Like, why do you have so many fruit?
Fruit.
You hear fruit, 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 fruit. Kind of like a fall rise
So
almost.
many fruit. Why do you have like so many fruit?
Fruit. Why do you why do you have like so many fruit? Why do you have like so many fruit? That sound. Again, that's up talking. So we're finishing with like a rising intonation there. So that's a feature that common in like California and things like that, but it is spreading across the country to a degree.
Why do you have like so?
Some other things here that I think are just interesting. Again, we talked about pitches, and again, super high pitches.
Why do you have like so?
Like what? Can't even. Oh god, I need some water before this. Real quick.
Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
Oh my gosh. Why do you have like why do you have like so many fruit? Like why do you have like so many fruit? Like why do you have like it's like there's some pretty high pitches. Like why do you have like
Why do you have like
why do you have like why do you have like
so many fruit? Why do you have like so?
Why do you have like
So many fruit?
And then that immediately drop down. So many like why do you have like so many fruit? Like something like that general movement.
Why do you have like so?
But the key thing there is I think that can be fun to kind of play with and imitate just to try to practice again expanding your pitch range and trying to get the higher sounds. I think would be a good exercise, honestly. You don't have to use these features, for instance, the uptalk to rising intonation, just kind of something to build on. Hello, R. Good to see you. R, I don't recognize you, at least I don't believe I do. So welcome to the stream. Let me know if you send a pronunciation file. And also let me know if you know where this is from. You can also let me know. Did you say this? Was it you? Is that why it sounds familiar? Can we post it on that? But if you guys have other questions about this specific audio file, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this train rolling. Oh my gosh, Emmanuel wants more of that. Maybe we can try to shadow that. Like, why do you have so many fruit? Like, why do you have so many fruit? And things. It's a long one. Let's do a longer file. So this one's 10 seconds. Let's see what we have here.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video, well, that's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys on the next one.
I mean, if you really don't like the stream, you can give it a thumbs down. That's okay. I won't be offended. I understand. But I appreciate that. Got a long audio file. Oh no, I did the wrong thing. This is what I wanted. R says thinks she's an Indian actress. If you think of the name, be sure to let us know. You might be able to put that whole thing into like Google or YouTube and see if it comes up with a hit. But thanks to Emmanuel for sending this file.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video, well, that's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Okay. There are some little stress things that I maybe would have done a little differently. I'll try to highlight those real fast.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure
enjoyed the video. Just watch out a little bit for that short I sound on vid. If you guys enjoyed the video,
be sure to
try to back up more.
If you guys enjoyed the video,
video versus video. Try to weaken the D sound. You can kind of go from that to the E sound a little more smoothly. Okay.
The video, be sure to give it a If you guys enjoyed the video,
Okay, so just kind of compare how I'm linking that with yours.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Want to hear that?
Be sure to
enjoy the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Okay.
Enjoy the video.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me see.
Enjoy the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Be sure to give it a. I think you had some options there to also include some lower pitches because you're kind of giving me some of the repetition of the pitches. Like be sure to give it versus be sure to give it a. It's like just kind of gradually pulling it down as you were doing that reduction and things like that. I think you do have an opportunity there.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to give it a thumbs.
Be sure to give it a. So one of the things that you could also do is maybe add a stress on sure. You can go up on that a little bit just to add some more contrast. Like be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Something like that. Just to add some contrast.
The video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. So just adding that higher pitch on sure, lower pitches on that beat to give it a, and then thumbs up, and then up is your next high pitch. Like be sure to give it a thumbs up. Just to add some contrast.
If you hate the video, well.
If you hate the video, well. Let me hear hate the video.
Be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video.
If you hate the video, hate the video. If you hate the video, if you hate the video, hate the video.
If you hate the video.
If you hate the video. I'm kind of like I think this sounds fine. I think another option could be slightly lower pitch on video because it's almost like competing with the pitch of hate. Like hate the video versus hate the video. If you hate the video, just something like that, again, to add more contrast. But I don't think that the way you did it sounds unnatural. Just kind of talk about another option.
Hate the video.
Again, like we saw at the earlier video, I do think you can make the D sound just a little weaker.
Video, well, that's too bad.
Well, that's too bad. I personally would have done like a heavy falling intonation there. That's just me.
Well, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Instead, that's too bad. I would well, that's too bad. If you hate the video, well, that's too bad. kind of a sharper falling intonation on bad.
It's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways.
Give it a thumbs up anyways. Give it a thumbs up anyways. Give it a thumbs up anyways.
Thumbs up anyways.
A thumbs up anyways. I think that for anyways,
And give it a thumbs up anyways.
give it a thumbs up anyways. Give it a thumbs up anyways. Give it a thumbs up anyways. So one thing with anyways, I would have done stress that N sound anyways and go higher pitch. Give it a thumbs up anyways. Well, that's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways. Give it a thumbs up anyways. I think in that case, it's very common for anyways to get the stress there. So giving that higher pitch there is going to help.
Thumbs up anyways. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
So you guys probably in the next one instead of on, just a note for prepositions.
See you guys on the next one.
See you guys in the next one. See you guys in the next one.
And I'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys in the next one. See you guys in the next one. Another option too is that I think higher pitch next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys in the next one. So something like that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay. So hopefully those things about stress and everything makes sense. I thought Riddick made an interesting comment. I'll take a look at the comments. I know I've not been paying attention to that recently. I will check those in a minute once we're finished. But Riddick mentions here not getting emotions from this audio. Okay, so I think that the way it's being said right now, and this kind of goes back to all the things I mentioned too, is that I think about if you stress the things that I recommended, I think that's going to help this sound a little bit more emotive. It's going to convey a little bit more emotion. I think the way you're saying it right now kind of sounds very like objective, neutral.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video, well, that's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
It's fine. Like in terms of like, again, just kind of like a neutral emotion and things like that. Context is always helpful. So let's imagine, for instance, that you're trying to convey a little more energy and excitement in like you're doing a live stream and like it's the end of your stream and you're signing off, and you're still like trying to convey a little bit more energy. Then I think you'll have some opportunities with those stresses again I identified to just kind of amp up the energy level, get things sounding a little bit stronger. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Versus like if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Again, kind of muted in terms of the emotion level, right?
If you hate the video, well,
If you hate the video, and I think, I would go heavy on hate there because you're contrasting this with enjoyed, right? These sentences are working together. So it's like, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you hate the video, so now, enjoyed, hate. So like, it just, it just adds more contrast between those emotion levels and things. If you go heavier on hate.
that's too bad. Give it a
Well, that's too bad. If you hate the video, well, that's too bad. Things like that. Pitch can also be used, to convey a little bit more emotion, a little more humor, and things that could be helpful.
too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways.
That's too bad. Give it a thumbs up anyways.
And I'll see you guys on the next one.
I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Like something like that. You can play around with the stresses and the pitches just to make this, add some spice. Right now it feels kind of like I'm eating chicken and the chicken tastes good. But, if I start adding, some like pepper and like a little bit more salt to it, maybe some paprika, now we're talking about stuff that, this is, starting to add some flavor to this, starting to be like yum, yum in the tum tum, yeah, thank you so much for sending that. Let me know if anything there is not clear. Okay. Going back to the previous audio file, people are naming actresses. I'm going to totally butcher this name and my apologies, but Shraddha Kapoor. Okay. Doing an American accent. That would also kind of explain, if she is not a native speaker, kind of going through it. And maybe she is a native speaker. I don't know. But again, with the fruit, there was an issue with the fruit. Kind of being a little bit unusual, like so many fruit. Why do you have like so many fruit? Like that's weird with the many. You would do like so much fruit. Like, why do you have so much fruit? But I don't know. Other questions. Edward asks,
Question.
is anyways correct? Or better said, acceptable? Like anyway or anyways? Is that what the question is? Anyway versus anyways? Also appreciate Riddick saying like, y'all, thank you. And it says their D's were too strong. My mom goes back to this debate. Edward, I hear many folks saying anyways, but I just think it's more appropriate to say anyway. Younger folks tend to be less formal. I think you'll hear anyway or anyways. I don't want to say they're. I think they're largely interchangeable. That's something I would need to do more research on. Honestly, I don't have a great answer. Do not have a great answer for that. Anyway, I like if I'm in a discussion and I'm trying to change topic, like well, anyways, I would probably use anyways with the Z sound personally in that sort of situation, like changing topic. I feel like anyway a lot of times is used as an adjective in a situation like this. Well, I couldn't have gone there anyway. I think in that sort of situation where it's kind of tacked on at the end, modifying what came before it, I think in that case, anyway is more common without the Z. But I think if it's again uses almost like a filler word to just change the topic, I think the Z sound would be more common, personally. Okay, Mayos, thanks us for the feedback. Yeah, so guys, if you're enjoying this, let me know in the chat. Be like, hey, I learned this. Tell me one thing you've learned so far in the chat, because I'd be certainly very curious to know that. Also, like maybe you're interested in other opportunities to work with me. There's so many ways to do that. Just kind of highlight some things. If you're in a situation right now where you're like kind of strapped for cash, money is a concern. Totally got you. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have this show, the Schwa Mill. That's why we have all our channels. We have the Fluent American main channel, but we also have this Schwa Mill channel, and we also have the shadowing channel. So all of our YouTube channel videos are completely free, but from there, there's different price points and things like that too. If you can afford $5 a month, then maybe you want to be in our Telegram group. Just to let you know about our Telegram group. It's basically if you go to patreon.com/fluentamerican or fluentamerican.com in Telegram, which is an app kind of like WhatsApp. Every single day, I post a group of words to say, and you can reply with your own audio, and I give you feedback. And we have another teacher named Lenora. She's great. I worked with her for years. One of the first teachers I hired when I was a director. And she's also giving you feedback too. So that's something that you may want to consider. So again, that's $5 a month to get you access. Besides that, we also have Mission English. So Mission English, again, is our live stream program. All of these times that you see here, we live stream for 30 minutes. That's right, 2 live streams a day. So for instance, you can choose time zone that works for you. So for instance, if Monday, 1:30 p.m. New York works for you, cool. Well, we do that again on Tuesday and we do that on Friday. Or maybe that 8 p.m. on Monday works for you. We will do 8 p.m. again on Wednesday, and we do that again on Thursday. So, you can pick the times that work for you. Maybe all of these times work for you. Okay, well, come to them all. That's fine. All of the streams are saved in our are saved in the group. So you can already watch, if you sign up for Mission English today, you automatically get access to like 100 classes because they're all saved on Facebook. So you can just watch like 100 lessons already. And each one of them is very different. It's also great too because the last thing I'll say about Mission English before moving on is that for Mission English, it's so valuable because you hear people talk and you hear the feedback I give them and you can notice the difference because you're like, oh yeah, I heard them say this and this is what Geoff said and that makes sense and I can hear the difference. Because a lot of times if it's just you and you talk, you don't actually know what you say. Like you say something, I say, oh, you need to make this change. And you tell me to my face like, oh, okay. But then in your head, you're like, I didn't say that though, Geoff. I said it like you. I said exactly the same. And then you listen to the recording, you're like, oh, wow, that was me. I said that. That doesn't even sound like me. So in Mission English, though, you hear the feedback immediately and you hear the other person immediately. So you can kind of piece together what's happening a little bit faster. And it's also just more fun because, we're joking around and, and stuff like that. It doesn't really feel like a class. It feels kind of like a conversation where we just kind of discuss pronunciation things. We can also do things in Mission English I can't do on the channel. Like we can look at movies and stuff like that and analyze it. So that's just another opportunity. And then for those who still prefer like one-on-one classes, we have those as well. All of this is available if you go to fluentamerican.com. All of this and more.
I love the sound that make you happy. I love the jokes that make you funny. I learn how to make you smile. I need your powers to stand up high.
All right. Shug always has that dramatic reverb going on.
I love the sound that make you happy.
Okay. That makes, just watch out for that. I love the sound that makes you happy. Makes you happy. So there's lots of ways you can link that too. You could say makes you. You could also use like a sh sound, just to like makes you, or makes you. Either one of those is fine. It's like I love the sun that makes you happy.
I love the sound that make you happy.
Lots of I really like your vowel sounds here. I love you. The schwa sounds are great. So that sound that we see on love, I love the sun that makes you happy.
I love the sound that make you happy.
The sound on ha, and then the finishing on that e sound. We spent some time in Mission English looking at final e sounds because that tends to be tricky. A lot of people are saying like like happy, 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 versus like happy, happy, happy. Do you hear the difference there on the e? So I like what you're doing there. That's great.
I love the jokes that make you funny.
Again, funny. I really like. Love again. I do think jokes. Let's listen to that o sound.
I love the jokes.
Jokes. I do think your placement kind of goes up a little higher, and the breath kind of closes off a bit on that o sound on jokes. So is it jokes? More jokes. I love the jokes. I love the jokes.
Love the jokes that make you funny.
But besides that, I think it sounds good. Lots of breath coming through. Great, great, great.
I learn how to make you smile.
Almost kind of getting almost like Harley Quinn kind of vibes a little bit.
I learn how to make you smile.
I like your IELTS sound. So again, the I is a vowel that it's considered a long vowel. So what that means is when you have a long vowel, first of all, long vowel does not mean that you hold it longer. Some people hear like long vowel, short vowel. They're like, oh, long vowels, I'll just do really long. And then short vowels will do short. But it doesn't work like that. It's just a name. Okay, it's just a name. All vowels in general in American English, you want to be as long as possible. So for smile, when you have what's called a long vowel and you put an L after it, it's usually going to be joined by an sound. So it's not smile, it's smile, smile. You can see it's in other words too, like fool, fool, or like pool, or like sail, sail, or for instance, oil, oil. So these are all examples of what are considered long vowels when you add an L after them. So there's just something you want to be making sure you're doing in those cases. So I like what's happening here with smile. I think it sounds good. Just a note there.
To make you smile. I need your powers to stand up high.
High, high. I was getting like some like vocal fry territory. If you're not sure what a vocal fry is, because like high, it's like that. Compare like I versus I, high, high.
Learn how to make you smile. I need your powers to stand up high.
Stand high versus like stand high. I'm not critiquing the vocal fry if that's something that you're choosing to do in your speech. That is a trend, again, more common among female speakers of American English. Not every female speaker of American English does this, but it is something that is growing. It is a pronunciation trend that is increasing in the U.S., spreading from the west to the east, slowly but surely.
Make you smile. I need your powers.
I need your power. It's like just a quick note about linking. You can say need your, that's fine. A lot of times what's going to happen instead is that D is going to soften into a just sound. So I said need your, more need your, I need your power. So just a note there.
How to make you smile. I need your power to stand up high.
To stand high versus stand high. To stand high. I need your power to stand high.
I love the sun that make you happy.
I love the sun that makes you happy.
I love the jokes that make you funny.
I love the jokes that make you funny.
I learn how to make you smile.
I learn how to make you smile.
I need your power to stand up high.
I need your power to stand high. You know, like people commenting on jokes voice. My mom saying it's upbeat, it's positive, schwa sounds good, enunciation is good. Okay. Learned that sound, the D at the end. Yes, yes. Purple Scarf saying, what a voice, gives horror movie vibes. That's the thing, like a very good, like kind of like acting things. One of the things that is nice about this is that every single section is very unique. You know, every thought group is kind of at a different, is doing something different.
I love the sun that make you happy.
Okay, so like for I love something that makes you happy. So like that's kind of like that's our neutral. That's kind of our midpoint.
I love the jokes that make you funny.
Just adding that funny, so like spunky. I love the jokes that make you funny. So like now we're taking it slightly higher.
I learn how to make you smile.
And then we go up another bit. Like I learn how to make you smile. So now we're doing each little thought group is doing something different.
I need your power to stand up high.
And then we go back down. You know, so some great movements there. That's very interesting about the horror movie vibes. Yeah, because the fact that each section sounds so different, I think is kind of lending it. It makes it seem, I don't want to say like unstable, but there is kind of there's a quality to it that kind of like puts you on edge a little bit because it keeps shifting and the highs go really high and then the lows are going lower. So as a listener, it kind of unbalances you to a degree. I like it. We talked earlier about some of the files, you know, trying to add emotion, but I think a lot is conveyed here, which is great. So thanks to Shoke. Some quick things, see if I missed. Riddick asks, Jeff, I know you're going to cook today, maybe tomorrow. What's your plan? Good question. I have pasta in the fridge I probably need to finish, in all honesty. I'm a simple man. I could eat pasta or rice or just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day, and that's fine. What about you guys? What are you guys cooking today? Let me know. What are you guys cooking? I know for many of you it's okay. I don't recognize this voice. So thank you for sending this file. By the way, guys, I always have to ask if this is your first time here, or if you're lurking and you haven't said anything the entire stream, this is the time to say hello. Be like, hi, Jeff. You can disappear again right after that, but I just want to know you're here. Or if you're watching this on the replay or listening to this on the replay, again, because maybe you're listening to the podcast version, I would strongly encourage you to, you know, leave a comment, leave a review, or just say, hey, I saw what you did. It was cool. Or it was not cool, however you felt about it. Okay, moving on to our audio again. Here's the file.
I've been working on the American accent skills for the past 4 years.
Okay, so there's a great level of clarity to this, which is wonderful. I understand everything you're saying. I think in general, the vowel sounds are okay. Okay. Other people saying they need to eat. Riddick needs to eat. My mom says I make some good gnocchi. You know, I do what I can. I think. So I can tell that you've been working on your accent, your pronunciation. You're spending a lot of time focusing on it. But I also think that that focus, that concentration to make everything sound really, really clear is actually the same thing that is giving you a relatively noticeable accent from a North American English point of view. because everything is so focused and concentrated and clear. And if you listen to native speakers talk, that's actually kind of the opposite of what native speakers are doing.
I've been working on the American.
I've been working on the American. So what's happening is your consonant sounds are very heavy. And because your consonant sounds are heavy, what that is doing is causing your breath to always stop. I've been working on the American.
I've been working on the American.
I've been working on the American versus I've been working on the American. I've been working on the American. Do you hear the difference between I've been working on the American and I've been working on the American? The biggest difference between mine and yours is going to be mine is always going to be smoother because I'm not focusing on the consonant sounds. I'm focusing on the vowel sounds. So instead of saying I've been working, I'm saying I've been working. I've been working. It's like I've been working. I'm making my consonant sound so much weaker. Versus if I do been working, I've been working. Do you hear that difference? So now that's me focusing on the consonant sounds, and it's a completely different rhythm, right? So my very big suggestion is let's get the shift. Let's shift from consonant-based sounds to vowel-based sounds across words. That's going to be my very first but very large recommendation. Once you are able to achieve that more, once you're focusing more on the vowel sounds, this is also going to help join things together because we're really going to try to keep the breath moving from one sound to the next. So again, if I focus on vowels, it's like notice I'm just going from one vowel to the next without stopping the breath in between. I've been working, 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 things like that.
I've been working on the American accent.
Watch out a little bit for accent.
Accent.
The accent.
The American accent. On the American accent.
It's like accent. You hear a difference between and It's like an I would just pull the lips a little bit more, just a little tenser, trying to get the corners of the lips, almost like you're smiling. Because it's not it's more You see, it's like cat, had, apple, So just watch out a little bit for that sound.
American accent skills.
Skills.
For the
We'll hear skills again.
American accent skills.
Skills. We talked a little bit earlier about the short I sound linking with a dark L. So start off just with an I. Okay, this is your, again, short I sound. So some tips for the short I. The back of your tongue is down, the sides of your tongue touching your top teeth. Middle of your tongue's a little high, front of your tongue is down. And again, the goal is like get like an I. Okay? Like is like sick or this. I'll just try to practice. You can practice doing that vowel into words like sick, this, is. Just kind of practicing that, getting that sound to be a little stronger. Okay. Linking that to a dark L can be tricky. So again, like L. Because when you shift from the to the L, what's going to happen is the back of your tongue is going to jump up a little bit. L. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me make my face a little bit bigger. Look at my big head. Okay, it's like L. One of the things that you're seeing is when I'm adding that dark L, my mouth is closing very slightly because my lower lip rises. L. Okay, as the back of my tongue goes higher. So that's kind of something else. It's like L. Practice that transition, and then as you get comfortable with that, you can add the rest of the words like L skills, L skills, L skills, L skills, L skills. So just kind of practicing that. Okay.
Skills for the past 4 years.
Okay. For the past 4 years.
Past 4 years.
Past 4 years. Okay. For the past 4 years. So again, kind of heavy stresses on all of those
For
words.
the past 4 years.
Past 4 years. Past 4 years. I think a lot of times when you have a T at the end of a word, very often it's held. So instead of past 4, like past 4, past 4. So notice you're not hearing past 4, more past 4. So just another note about linking there. The very last thing I'll say about this, again, the level of clarity here is good. The vowel sounds, I think, are clear. Aside from like the A sound and the short I with the L, I don't have a whole lot to say about them. Stress and pitch, because right now you're kind of giving me maybe like 3 pitches.
I've been working on the American accent scale.
So it's like I've been working on the American. So like you're stuck in this very kind of confined range. You're giving me maybe like 3-4 pitches. Okay. Versus if you said something like this, like, I've been working on the American accent. I've been working on the American accent. Or I've been working on the American accent. I've been working on the American accent. So what I'm doing is I'm using a wider range of pitches. Where I'm going higher, I've been working on the American accent. Or if I'm going lower, I've been working on the American accent. So in the second case, I'm using more lower pitches. In that first case, I'm using more higher pitches. Whatever you decide to use, fine. But instead of using, 3 or 4 pitches, can you give me like 5, 6, 7 pitches? And this paired with the, more reductions and things like that, is going to really help things stand out even more and really pop.
Accent scales for the past 4 years.
Yeah, because right now every single word is kind of getting stressed. So using more reductions, using more linking, more pitches, and I think that you'd be, even relatively quickly, be pretty amazed at the changes that you could do. All right, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about anything I just said, be sure to let me know. But thank you so much for sending the file. I hope you send more in the future. It was great having you. We do appreciate that. I know I've been absent from the chat for a moment, so just want to kind of step in there, kind of see what's going on. What have you guys been doing without me here? Gnocchi. Oh, so that was access way. Cool. Great. Let me know if anything there isn't clear. I hope that is helpful.